大家午安，今天的课程呢，在3点10分稍后就会开始。
Good afternoon. Our program will begin at 3:10. Today's workshop will be broadcasted live online. If you have any questions during the workshop, you can type them in the chat box, and we will have the speakers answer them during the Q&A. At the end of the workshop, the screen will display today's course QR code. Please scan the code to fill in the workshop satisfaction questionnaire to provide your feedback. Now, I would like to remind you that we have some bonus gifts to give away today. Toward the end of today's program, there will be some quiz questions. We will be selecting 3 participants to receive some great prizes. So as long as you scan the QR code and fill in the workshop satisfaction questionnaire, you will get a chance to receive a 200 NT gift voucher. 10 participants will be given these vouchers. And for those of you attending the Sport Event Taiwan Workshop 2022, if you attend as many as 8 different courses, you will be eligible at the very end, namely the 15th workshop, you will be entered into a lucky draw. We will be drawing 3 winners who will be able to go home with 1,000 NT gift vouchers and some other great prizes. So make sure you go to our Facebook fan page to look up the details as to how you can be part of the lucky draw. So make sure that when you type your questions in the chat box and when you file in for today's workshop, make sure you type your name and your position and your affiliation in the chat box. The workshop will begin momentarily.
它影片有测试。
2022台湾品牌国际赛研习。
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Sport Event Taiwan Workshop 2022. This workshop takes place every Wednesday. It is organized by the Sports Administration Ministry of Education, the National Association of Small and Medium Enterprises, and the Yangming Chiao-Tung University's Center of Industry, Accelerator, and Patent Strategy. I would like to welcome all the online participants, professors, and university students, and all our speakers. Welcome to the Sport Event Taiwan Workshop 2022. I'm Helen, the MC today. I'm also the co-director of Fun Sports in Taiwan. I would like to remind you, for those of you joining us online, please make sure you type your name, your affiliation in the chat box. If you have any questions, please feel free to raise them by typing your questions in the chat box as well. Without further ado, I would like to welcome today's speakers. 4 speakers are already standing by online. You can see their thumbnail images online. First, let us welcome Kristy Yeh, CEO of Justpa. We see that you are sporting a new hairstyle. Looking great today. Thank you for joining us today. Michael Lin, he is the co-director of Hype GVA Taiwan, as well as the CEO of IAPS. Next, I would also like to welcome a speaker who will talk about YONEX Taipei Open. He is Guo-Zuo Zhang, the General Manager of Chinese Taipei Badminton Association. Welcome. Next, I would like to welcome our speaker from Korea, the Vice President of the Asian Association for Sport Management, Seok Choi. Welcome, Dr. Choi. This workshop is being held under 3 themes: branding, innovation, and networking. Introducing fresh perspectives and helping the participants learn from the best practices of sports professionals and event organizers worldwide. We will now get ready to take a screenshot. Please join us in group photo shooting. We will take a few virtual group photos. The 4 speakers online, please make sure you look into your camera. And please hold up show us your gestures. Can you please hold up your thumbs? Show us your thumbs up as we get ready to take a few more photos. Thank you so much for joining the group photo shooting today. We have a great turnout in terms of the number of participants online today. I would like to welcome all of you to participate in today's workshop, Sports Event Taiwan Workshop 2022. May I also remind those of you joining us online that we have a very tight schedule involving many speakers today. Make sure you stay with us until the very end of today's workshop. There will be a lucky draw, and we are giving away even more presents today. We will be drawing and selecting 3 lucky winners. And please also make sure you fill out our online satisfaction questionnaire. You will receive a 200 NT gift voucher for filling out our questionnaire. Out of the 15 workshops, if you attend more than 8 of them, you will be eligible, and your name will be entered into a final lucky draw, which will take place at the very end of this series of workshops. 3 people will become the lucky winner of some gift vouchers worth up to $1,000 NT, in addition to other prizes that you could take home with you. So without further ado, I will turn the program over to the first 2 speakers this afternoon. Kristy Yeh, CEO of Justpa, and Michael Lin, the Hype GVA Taiwan co-director.
Thank you, Helen. Hi, Michael. Hi, Kristy. Allow me to start. We're very happy to be able to see all of you again online. Hype GVA is a joint organization of Sports Administration, Chiao-Tung University, and Hype GVA. And every year we organize events to cultivate innovative teams. And this year we're very happy to have Justpa with us today. Badminton, especially last year, because of the Olympic Games in Tokyo, we got very good grades and results in badminton. And there's a lot of sports technologies being applied to this sport. And I still remember that the Hawkeye caught the drop place of the very last ball in the Olympics. So that's really impressive. And a lot of renowned organizations use that screenshot as their logo. So today we have Kristy Yeh from Justpa with us. Kristy is a athlete herself, enjoying badminton very much. So we would very much like to hear from Kristy to see how a solution is being developed by Justpa. So without further ado, I'd like to give the floor to Kristy. Thank you, Michael. Hi, everyone. I'm here representing Justpa. We are a team of people who enjoy badminton very much, and we're a tech company. We are amateurs and badminton lovers. So when we have games, we realize that there are rooms for technology to help facilitate the sports. For example, during the checking process, we can speed up the process. So we try to use the technology to apply it on the games that we are playing and on the teams that we are playing for. As you can see, I'm wearing a short hair, but on the screen, you see this picture where I'm wearing my hair long. That was last year. We had about 3 groups, and that was a community game. And we were there representing a team from Taichung. So basically, we had a friendship tournament, and inter the teams or within the teams, and along with a lot of other games, we organize a lot of teams and then have tournaments. So everything was organized voluntarily to have these friendship tournaments. And in the process, I realized that we actually spent a lot of time checking in. We didn't have a lot of resources to apply too many technologies there because that was a community game. But when we arrived to the venue, it took us a lot of time confirming our identities to know who we are, which team we represent. And in between the games, we need to confirm and reconfirm again. So lots of wait time. That's why we began to think, is there any way for us to accelerate this process? So for me, I really enjoy playing badminton. I play average, and I play 2 to 4 days a week. And we have team members who play every day. So basically, we are a group of badminton lovers slash engineers. And we spent some time studying the market, and we realized that badminton is actually number 2 largest or most popular sport. So the world's second most played sport is badminton. So in general, in Taiwan, we see this rise of badminton. We have Dai Ziying. We have a lot of star athletes. As Michael mentioned earlier, that screenshot of the ball drop caught by Hawkeye was really, really popular and famous in Taiwan. So average in Taiwan, we have about 2 million to 3 million people playing badminton. So it's really an impressive number. And worldwide, we did another study looking at the badminton players around the world. There's about 220 million badminton players around the world. So this is a really popular sport, really impressive. We further looked into this sport. So if you play badminton every day, what's the average spending? We found that for the teams, badminton is a sport where it only requires 2 people and 2 rackets. And it's a competitive sport. So lots of people organize teams to compete against each other. So this is a very important trend. For example, my neighbors in the neighborhood selling street food can spend a few hours every afternoon playing the game or playing the sport. So in terms of spending, the highest spending actually goes to club fees. And let's look at the per capita average regarding the gears, the rackets, and accessories, as well as the team spendings. So altogether, on an annual basis, for badminton as a sport, the spending is 246 to 1,000 US dollars. And in terms of the market size, it's 32 million for Taiwan and 5.4 billion worldwide. And more than 60% of the badminton players are more than willing to pay these expenses. So then we began to think, with such a big market size, what are the solutions that we can offer? We gave it a lot of thought because we enjoy playing badminton. So we started with the pinpoint. So the first thing that we would like to do is to speed up the check-in process. We use the NFC technology, for example, Bluetooth and Wi-Fi. We hope that when the players are checking in, we will be able to speed up the process. And we're able to have a real-time update in between. The second solution is to sync up the match process. So every player can download this app. So when you check in or even before, you download the app, and then the players will be able to sync up using the app so that they don't have to constantly look at the billboard. The third solution is something that we would like to achieve in the future. We hope that through these matches, after each and every match, the players, of course, would like to improve themselves. The fastest way is for you to hire a coach so that the coach will be able to help you better your skills. So the third solution is a coaching match, so that through this match, you'll be able to find the optimal coach for you and then refine your skill and then make you an even better player to form this benign cycle. This is the picture to show you the structure. So starting with checking in, we can use the player ID card. This year, and when COVID-19 began, we switched that to QR code. So you can also do that through a QR code. And then with the card, the referees and the judges can also use the QR code and NFC to check in. So after the match, if the score is 21 to 18, and the judge can use a QR code or a digital signature to sign off the scores or result. So all the data will go to the cloud. And through the cloud, we'll be able to have the data available on the management platform where the signature of the judge is there, and we know when these people check in and when these people check out so that we know the duration of the match. On the lower left is something that we would like to achieve in the future, kind of like a commercial collaboration in the area of a commercial display. For this kind of match, we can facilitate a business collaboration and visual communication for collaboration. On the lower right, which is the feature app. As I mentioned before, when the player checks in, the athlete downloads the app as well. So with the app available, during the game, you don't have to actually look at the billboard. You will be able to receive notification through your app on your cell phone for you to know whether you qualify or whether what your status in the game. So this video shows you how an athlete checks in. So through the QR code, he or she can check in, and she can also provide her digital signature. And on the right, you get to see a picture because we have doubles, which is why we use this very popular iconic picture and create our QR code chip. So here, all the data is in this chip, and the athletes can also check in using their cell phone.
那在因为我们来讲说我们的business model 来讲。
Here is our business model. Basically, we have a tech for match. So in principle, we use a rental fee for rental business model. And this is a rental business model. We're hoping that in the future, through gears and peripherals, we will be able to bring in business sponsorship and business partnership. Another area is insurance. Badminton is a sport that may cause injuries quite easily. So working with insurance is very important. For example, the maintenance or physical maintenance for the athletes. These are very important partnership opportunities. Here shows you our team members. Basically, this is a team of engineers who really love sports. For me, I have been playing badminton since small, and I really like sports. And all of our engineer team members enjoy playing sports. We have a back-end engineer. We have a front-end engineer. We also have UX UI designers and lots of engineers. And when we had these matches, we met coaches, we met other players and other athletes who provided us with a lot of professional feedback. And they told us that interface should be as simple as possible. And for coach matching through data analysis, they should be able to find the coach that is suitable for them. And they're also looking for experiential courses so that they're able to interact with the coaches. So all these domain knowledge was provided based on the feedback from them. And here's the field test. We basically tested these out on the teams in Taichung. And these teams have been playing with each other for a long time. And because of COVID, we don't have as many matches as before. But after COVID, we will definitely resume this test. So with that, I conclude my presentation. I am Kristy Yeh from Justpa. Thank you very much. Thank you for your attention. I welcome any questions. Thank you, Kristy, for your wonderful presentation. Kristy loves badminton. She also is an entrepreneur, and that is very related to our topic. And I really look forward to more platforms for us to have further exchanges. A couple of questions for you. First, when you are working with the teams and organizing matches, what were the pain points? Any resistances or anything that people care the most about, or people are concerned? What are the things that they care the most, and which are the pain points that you address so that you're able to provide this solution?
Thank you, Michael. From the concept inception to the actual implementation stage, there were many challenges. In the beginning, we wanted to use Bluetooth, so you download this app, and then once you're on site, you could just use the Bluetooth to connect with our app. We thought that would be a simple solution. However, we then realized that not everybody is able to check in with Bluetooth. So this is not just related to human behavior. It also related to interferences from other mechanical devices and machines on site. So that was the very first challenge we encountered. So we tried out the Bluetooth-based check-in system. However, very quickly we realized that when we have a lot of people on site, there would be a congestion in our system, causing delays in using our app. So we decided to turn our attention to NFC. We were lucky that Apple also made NFC very available. It has now become a readily available technology. You just need to tap it. All the user needs to do is to tap it quickly. Therefore, when people are checking in, the process is smooth and quick. When you use your cell phone to scan the QR code, and people are becoming more familiar with scanning the QR code during the pandemic because all the grandmoms and moms are able to use QR code. However, before the pandemic hit Taiwan, telling people to download the Bluetooth app or showing them how to download this app to scan the QR code, it was so difficult. So we organized 2 matches. So for them, for the audience members and players to come in and scan the QR code, they found it to be very, very difficult. We also provided instructions and guidelines. However, it was very confusing. So we decided to go for NFC. Since Bluetooth and QR codes were not so easy to use. So we decided to create cards, customized cards, and with NFC. Now, everyone's data is embedded in the card. It tells you who you are, where your match is, when it's going to happen, where to go at a certain time. So Apple also has connected itself with NFC functions. So what they could do is that they pick up this card and then tap it at the check-in machine. While I do that, the information pops up on my cell phone. So I get the information simultaneously on my smartphone as well. So NFC system really speeds up the entire process. Later on, we also discovered that NFC system also has another advantage. It is just like a marathon. Sometimes when the organizer at the end of the match would give you a certificate or some sort of souvenir. Just for example, when you go to a movie, when you watch Doctor Strange, then you receive a movie poster that you could take home as a memorabilia that reminds you of the fact that you were in the movie theater. So people are very keen on getting a souvenir at the end of the match. So we soon discovered that this NFC card could be a souvenir that people could simply take home as a reminder of the fact that they were there on site at the stadium playing badminton, joining matches with their friends. So now, after the pandemic has devastated Taiwan, people are more familiar with the use of QR code. There are other questions. For example, do you print out this huge QR code for people to scan, or do you generate your own customized QR code? So we decided that everyone would have their own QR code. Because you have your own QR code, the fact that you have your own personalized QR code, which is issued by us, the organizer. It contains your personalized information. It is for you to use only. So you use your tab or cell phone to scan the QR code. It enables the machine to import your own information. So on another note, for example, when I join a team, let's say this team is called Pizza Hut. So you can actually scan your own personal QR code, or we will also embed the Pizza Hut's QR code in the middle, the icon in the middle of the QR code. So as time went by, we gradually switch to QR code because during the pandemic, more and more people became more familiar with the use of QR code. So we decided to generate all these customized virtual QR code. And thanks to the pandemic, during which people have to scan the QR code as they enter a public venue, people have become accustomed to QR code. So now we're also using QR code for player check-in at badminton matches. Thank you. Thank you, Kristy, for sharing your practices with us. You talked about perhaps partnering with insurance companies. You believe that that would be your long-term plan. I am curious as to how that would pan out. For example, what kind of data should you provide to the insurance company? What kind of information or what kind of data are you offering to the insurance company so that they're willing to work with you? Insurance company is for the prevention purposes. We have, in fact, talked with insurance professionals. When joining a match, players could purchase insurance policies, for example, injury and accidents-related insurance policies. What we want to strike a deal with the insurance company is more on the selected areas, body parts, for example, the waist, the ankle, the body parts that are more susceptible to being injured during the match. So we wanted to maybe develop a package deal with the insurance companies here in Taiwan, specifically for badminton matches. So on our platform, we are collecting injury-related information as well. We want to survey and collect data on what kind of insurance that the current players are purchasing. What is the chance or the percentage of players actually claiming insurance payment? How much, for example, on the average is the insurance policy? We want to survey the status quo so that we could mine the data so that we can use it as a basis for us to discuss specific badminton match-related package deals with insurance companies. So true, we are collecting related data, and we'll be adding more survey functions to our platform to gather data in this regard. Thank you, Kristy. Follow-up question. You talked about your practices mostly being based in central Taiwan, for example, the city of Taichung. What are your plans to expand it to other cities, such as northern Taiwan and Taipei? Are you looking for partners? What are your plans for business expansion? Currently, we base most of our operations in Taichung. We network with regionally based teams, badminton teams. Most of our operations are carried out with teams. So we work with specifically 3 different teams in Taichung. So to try out our system, and the venue owner contacted us after watching us for a while and really wanted to work with us to use our a smart technology-enabled check-in system. So we are being contacted by different teams and venue owners. However, our basis remains to be the teams because teams are always constantly looking for new solutions. But we, at the same time, also need to base our services out of the stadiums, badminton halls, etc. All these venue owners could rent our system from us. So it would be a software as a service, and we have come up with a price schedule for rental by these venue owners. So we are starting out in Taichung. However, for Taichung, for Taipei and the northern areas of Taiwan, we're still waiting to see how we can reach the business scale, economy of scale. Sometimes when we try our system in central Taiwan, badminton teams from Taipei who see the use of this technology asked us if it would be available. One time we had this team coming from Taipei. He after witnessing how our technology is used, said that he wants his company to use it to speed up the check-in system. All you need to do is either you have an NFC card, you tap it, and you're good to go, or you can use a QR code to scan and check in. It is currently not so much widely available in Taipei. However, a lot of companies, enterprises in Taipei have their own badminton teams. So after hearing the suggestion from this gentleman from Taipei, it dawned on me that I might be able to contact different companies. For example, their sports and welfare and sports department of the companies located in northern Taiwan, especially a large conglomerate of companies. I could reach out to them so that we could make our software available to all these companies' badminton teams to speed up their check-in process. So that will be our next step. Thank you, Kristy. Enterprises and their badminton teams are always looking for enhancing effectiveness and speeding up the processes. We know that you have put your roots down in Taichung, and you are looking to expand to other cities. So best of luck to you. And it's such an honor for us to hear such an excellent presentation from Kristy Yeh, the CEO of Justpa. So if any of the participants have any follow-up questions, can they raise their questions later on, or perhaps email you after the program ends today? Yes, today I would like to mention that we're now giving away NFC cards, generating free QR codes for enterprises and badminton teams who would like to try out our services. What about devices? Do you provide devices? All you need to do is to come up with your iPad smartphone, and download our apps, and then you are good to go in terms of checking in the players. In terms of downloading the app, I would guide you through the process. All you need to do is to create an account, to download the app, and then you'll be able to use our check-in system at your badminton matches. Thank you for your sharing and your contribution to the discussion. Kristy Yeh, thank you. We could see that you are passionate and enthusiastic about badminton as a sport, and also about the NFC and QR code system and the importance of digitization in badminton events. You also mentioned making it accessible, smooth, seamless, and an easy experience for the players. For those attending badminton matches, the very first hurdle they have to overcome is definitely checking in and navigating their way through the crowds. And your system helps them overcome that obstacle. Now we will take a brief break. We will break until 3:50. 3:50, we will take a brief tea break. So please return to the conference room on time at 3:50. When we return, we will welcome the next speaker, Guo-Zuo Zhang. He's the general manager of Chinese Taipei Badminton Association. He will talk about the tremendous success of YONEX Taipei Open. Following Zhang, we will have Dr. Seok Choi, the Vice President of Asian Association for Sports Management. Dr. Choi will talk about brand management. Enjoy the break. Thank you.
欢迎回到2022台湾品牌国际赛研习营课程。这个阶段我们来进行的是我们品牌赛事的。
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the program. Coming up next, we have two different speakers. The first speaker will talk about the YONEX Taipei Open. The first speaker will be Guo-Zuo Zhang. Mr. Zhang himself is a badminton player. In 2019, he became the vice president of the Asia Badminton Association. He's now the general manager of Chinese Taipei Badminton Association. Many of you have watched the live broadcast of YONEX Taipei Open. Today, Mr. Zhang will talk about the great success of the YONEX Taipei Open.
好，理事长已经在我们的线上。
We are able to see Guo-Zuo on the screen.
有听到我？
Mr. Zhang, are you able to hear me?
好，我们现在在画面上。
So on the screen, we are able to see Mr. Zhang. And today we're going to talk about YONEX Taipei Open. And I did some research. This year, YONEX Taipei Open is scheduled to start on July 19th and till July 24th. And we're going to have the games in Taipei Arena. I'm not sure if all of you are badminton lovers, but we know that in Taiwan, we have a lot of wonderful badminton players. Like for me, in my family, my children are playing badminton in their schools. And we have Taiwanese athletes who won gold medals in the Olympic Games. So today, the first presentation after the break is YONEX Taipei Open. And in the previous session, Kristy talked to us about how she is a badminton lover herself. So badminton in Taiwan is a national sport, and it's a competitive sport that is very popular and well received. And Taiwanese people are able to get very good results in a lot of games and tournaments. And it's a leisure sport. We all know that with the visibility of Taiwan being good badminton players in the international arena, in Taiwan, being a very popular sport, badminton is actually a sport that doesn't get very easily accessible because lots of the courts are booked out very early on. So I even was invited to join the efforts to get sport courts. So YONEX Taipei Open is very important. We always say that through sport event, we need to be able to increase the visibility of Taiwan. We also would like to expand the population of badminton players in Taiwan. With more participation, we will be able to get good performing athletes and improve our international scores. I'm sure that Mr. Zhang also heard Kristy's sharing. Both of them are badminton lovers. So we are going to have a networking session starting at 4:30 Taipei time. So we will be able to have more exchanges with these speakers. So when you are listening to the presentations, and if you have any questions, please don't hesitate to write down your questions in chat box so that we will be able to sort through your questions and then get them answered by the speakers. If you have any questions regarding our workshops, in the very beginning, we reminded you that please follow up Fun Sports in Taiwan. Please like the fan page on Facebook. And on the Facebook fan page, you will be able to see all the information about the workshop courses. So please like Fun Sports in Taiwan Facebook fan page and follow up on us. We have a lot of workshop courses. So with the leadership and planning of sports administration of Ministry of Education, we have a lot of focus on innovation, branding, and networking, even though we're not able to have physical events. But still, a crisis might turn into an opportunity. We can have an online format of the events and have online interactions. I know that there's a lot of participants from various sports, and everybody's thinking about how to promote your respective sport to have a better sport organization and sport events, so that the participants will be able to have wonderful experience in your events. And through these events and games, we can also have international participants, so that we will be able to have Taiwan seen by the international community. And Kristy started with her own personal experience, and I think it's very important. I came from the media background. I studied journalism back in college. My teachers still influence us a lot. My teachers always say, put your readers in your heart. Have your readers on your mind all the time. So whether you're a organizer or a sponsor, you need to always have the participants in mind. Whether they are the viewers or the athletes, as I mentioned earlier, we need to have every participant, every stakeholder to have a best and optimal experience in the event, so that they would like to come back again, or bring more people to join them together and come back to the sport event again. So back to the theme of this topic, which is YONEX Taipei. We have a Taipei Open for many, many years. I'm sure you all have the visuals now. So Taipei Arena is a full house. However, now, because of the pandemic, we are not able to have this kind of arrangement. We need to have arranged the seats in a way to ensure social distancing. So with the pandemic, we need to address these concerns. We are also trying to enable our ability to organize events. So this is a very important goal why we organize this workshop.
So that during the pandemic, although we're not sure when the pandemic will be over, we will be able to deepen our knowledge and hone our skills and know-how. So once the borders open up, we will be able to present and organize more badminton matches of international caliber to meet the needs of sports fans in Taiwan and around the world. That's why we see that a lot during the pandemic, a lot of the sports events have been either suspended or postponed. And this also highlights the importance of the Sports Event Taiwan workshop this year. In fact, for this workshop, we have been working tirelessly to invite heavyweight speakers from the sports industry. You might already have noticed that this year's workshops are quite different from last year's. They're not just about introducing major sporting events and matches around the world. The secrets to the great success of these sports and the best practices from around the world. This year, we're also focusing on the use of technology. So without further ado, I will like to welcome Mr. Zhang, the General Manager of Chinese Taipei Badminton Association. He will talk about YONEX Taipei Open and the success factors of the YONEX Taipei Open.
The interpreter's apology. The interpreter cannot hear Mr. Zhang. Please kindly remind Mr. Zhang to turn on his microphone. Thank you.
好，理事长，我们可能要请您确认一下。
Mr. Zhang, could you confirm if you have your mic on? We very much look forward to your presentation. Mr. Zhang
投入非常多的
is devoted to the development of badminton. We still cannot hear you. Mr. Zhang, could you confirm if you are on mute?
好，美好的事物值得等待。现在我们已经听到理事长
The best always comes last.
非常棒，非常棒。我们有
We're able to hear you. Yes, over to you, Mr. Zhang.
是，好 ，OK， 主持人，还有热爱运动的及热爱羽球的我们的好友，大家好。
My dearest MC and ladies and gentlemen, as well as lovers of badminton, good afternoon. This is my honor and privilege to be invited to share with you our experience organizing YONEX Taipei Open. So when we organize YONEX Taipei Open, one of our goals is to enable the world to see Taiwan through badminton. We are very lucky. We have the best timing and the best location. First of all, if you see the international scores of Taiwanese badminton players and our status in the badminton community, and also YONEX Taipei Open. So since 2018, Jakarta Asian Games, Dai Ziying won the gold medal in women's singles, and Zhou Tiancheng won silver in men's single. Li Yang, Li Zhehui won the bronze medals in men's doubles, and we got the best performance in Asian Games. And in 2020, in Tokyo Olympics, we got the best performance. Li Yang and Wang Qilin won the gold medals for men's doubles, and that's the first gold medal in the Olympic Games. And also Dai Ziying, I guess because of the pandemic, so the Olympics was delayed for a year. But again, Dai Ziying won the silver medal for women's singles. And Zhou Tiancheng and Wang Ziwei ranked number 5 in men's singles. So over the past few years, if you look at the ranking of Taiwanese badminton players, we have Dai Ziying. We also have Zhou Tiancheng, Li Yang, and Li Zhehui. Liao Minjun, Shu Junheng ranked number 10. So Dai Ziying number 1, Zhou Tiancheng number 2, Li Yang, Wang Qilin world number 3, Wang Ziwei world number 9, Liao Minjun, Su Jingheng world number 10, and Lu Jingyao, Yang Bohan world number 10. So all these great performances enable the world to see Taiwan. We're able to have these Taiwanese athletes showing the world their capabilities. So we have wonderful athletes, we have a wonderful performance. That is why we're able to create the momentum to drive the development of badminton in Taiwan. And again, we also work very hard to establish our international status. In 2019, we're able to have the highest international membership. So just like China and Indonesia, we are able to have the weight of 5 votes. In 2019, again, we are very lucky. I am able to become the vice president of Badminton Asia Confederation. Chen Zishen also became the technical committee member of Badminton Asia Confederation. So if you look at the international sport performance as well as the positions that we held in these international organizations, we all achieved the highest status. And all of these, in turn, enhance Taiwan's influence on badminton. We worked very hard in 2019 to organize workshops for coaches in Taiwan. We also facilitate exchanges with the international badminton community, inviting athletes from all over the world to Taiwan. And now I'd like to talk about YONEX Taipei Open. In 2018-2019, we attracted 23 countries and more than 400 athletes to come to Taiwan to join the game. And the broadcasting, we're able to broadcast to 192 member countries live. And for 2 consecutive years, we're able to achieve the highest box office. So again, we had a lot of media campaigns to create the success of the tournament. And some reviews about how we organize Taipei Opens in 2019. So that was a review of the organization of 2019 Taipei Open. So that was the promotional campaign video that I shared with you. So the goals for us to organize a Taipei Open is to align our practices with the international community. We would like to be the organizer or the sponsor of the games so as to improve the status of badminton so that Taiwan can be seen by the world. And also we would like to have a badminton diplomacy so that more people know the badminton players from Taiwan and see their great performance. And over the years, we've been working along with the tourism community to fight for or to get the sponsor as a city to promote the city of Taipei and to have a broadcasting of these games, to have a badminton tourism. We're also trying to enhance our ability to join international tournaments to improve the skills of the domestic badminton players. Last but not least, we're trying to promote badminton as a national sport. So when we organize a Taipei Open, we also think about how to promote Taipei and Taiwan, so that we're able to increase the visibility of Taipei and to have badminton diplomacy activities. We've been thinking about how to train the athletes to create badminton sports stars. So we know we have Dai Ziying, who is world #1, and last year we had a great performance in Tokyo. We won the first badminton gold medal. We also have Xiao Tian as the leader of the team. So over the years, we're able to increase the visibility of Taiwan through badminton. And if you look at the trend of badminton, we're having more and more Taiwanese who are interested in badminton, who pay attention to these games. So we're promoting badminton to become a national sport for Taiwan, and that is one of the things that my association has been focused on. We're also trying to incorporate the landmarks of Taipei, as well as tourist attractions of Taiwan. We're trying to promote Taiwan and Taipei through our videos. So again, let me share with you how we leverage the video to increase Taiwan's awareness.
球就是我的小宇宙，
输了就是在练，100%的专注度，从挫折中爬起来。
羽球就是我的小宇宙，
输了就是在练，100%的专注度，从挫折中爬起来，冲倒对手。
我不能决定我的输赢，但是态度可以。
我爱羽球，我爱羽球，打羽球只有一个目的，就是赢球。
中华台北羽球公开赛。
所以可以看到我们非常的。
So from the video, you get to see that we spend a lot of efforts and budget to organize Taipei Open, to promote Taipei, to promote our athletes, and to promote one of the most famous landmarks of Taiwan, which is Taipei 101. So all these efforts are trying to push the visibility and popularity of Taipei Open. So from 2018-2019's experience, for 2020 and 2021, because of the pandemic, Taipei Open was suspended. This year in July, we're going to resume YONEX Taipei Open. So we hope that by then, I would like to invite all of you to come to Taipei to cheer for our athletes. Our goal is to enhance the level of the Taipei Open. Right now, the spec is Super 300, which is not the highest level, and we're aiming at Super 500. We're also trying to create and establish the professional badminton courthouse. So besides to enhance the specification and to have the professional sports house, as the previous presenter mentioned, we also are trying to create a smart badminton court so that Taipei can become an international city focused on badminton, so that everybody is able to see Taipei through badminton, and Taipei is having its door open to all badminton lovers. With that, I complete my presentation. Thank you for your attention. Thank you, Mr. Zhang, for your presentation, and thank you so much for setting aside some time from your very busy schedule to share with you your organizational experience in YONEX Taipei Open. So besides increasing the specification, you're also aiming to create a sports gallery dedicated to badminton. I think this is great news for all sports lovers in Taiwan. That would be something really wonderful for badminton lovers. And also, we're seeing a lot of badminton players from Taiwan traveling around the world to attend international tournaments. So while they're maintaining their skills, they need to protect themselves to address the pandemic. During this time, during the pandemic, we have a lot of adjustments and a lot of measures to counter the pandemic. Also, the association is working very hard to organize games and to train the athletes. So Chinese Taipei Badminton Association is working very hard in this regard. So thank you, Mr. Zhang, for your presentation. Please stay online for the networking session afterwards. Next, we're going to have Vice President Dr. Choi, who is from Asian Association for Sport Management, and his topic is focused on brand management. So I would like to urge the participants to review your branding management approach based on your respective sport. So without further ado, I'd like to give the floor to Dr. Choi.
Thank you. Well, good afternoon, everybody. My name is Seok Choi from Korea. Today, I would like to talk a little bit about the brand resource management for the various sporting events. Especially, I'm looking at the local sports event, which is a little different from the mega sports event or any kind of sports event at the professional level. Well, basically, as we know, brand management requires a certain type of creative idea that can emphasize the core value of a certain product. But sometimes it's hard for the brand manager to identify what the core values they have. So sports events are intangible, and it has unique characteristics in terms of operating systems or necessary resources and the customer's expectations. So these characteristics to be utilized as a productive system to generate a sporting event or activities, which makes a different product from some other regular product or services as well. So it's more getting complicated and complex. So I thought that it might be interesting to come up with a number of strategies to generate a resource for developing a sporting event brand values. All right. These are what I'm going to talk about. So first of all, I also like to scheme the trends in the brand management in the sports settings. And second of all, I also like to introduce 3 connections as a resources to develop the brand values for the sporting event. And finally, I would like to give you some managerial implication as a future direction for the brand management. One more thing, I would like to share some cases of brand management at the sporting event. Okay, trends in the brand management. Okay. In the past, many companies did a quantity approach in their brand management process. So which means that they focused on the quantity and the quality of the brand-related advertisement and the PR. These companies try to stimulate their customers as well as participants by delivering brand-related messages with hardware components, such as price, new functions, new design, services, etc. However, when you look at the current sports marketplace, sports fans and customers or even participants have evolved in a way that they try to do some kind of the satisfaction consumption decision-making process throughout their self-learning experience. So there is a big transition in the sport consumption right now. In the past, people want to experience spectatorship at the sporting event, which they mainly looking at sports games, athletic performance, facilities, all the programs and the services. But when you look at the current marketplace in the sports industry, people want to actively involve or be engaged or intentionally participate a certain sports event as an active learner. So they want to experience emotional and physical growth or engagement throughout the active environment in the sports event. So many sports organizations and companies try to come up with symbolic or meaningful words that can emphasize their brand values based on this, their experience. These words can symbolize the core values of sporting event, which focused on any kind of the connection to the sporting event. So I came up with some you know, well-recognized brands in the sports industry. So I would like to share these examples of brands that you can easily figure out who they are. So when you look at each company's branded themes, we can find out what they try to share with us. Number one, Patagonia. They respect and protect the natural environment and promote the outdoor sports activities. Number two, Nike. We know this company very well. They respect athletes and invite more people into the sports world with a symbolic word like just do it. Number three, Columbia. Columbia brand themes represent the value of natural environment experience. Number four, the North Face. Their brand stimulates customers with extreme challenges in the nature. One of the common things that I can find out in this brand is that these companies try to promote outdoor activities, some sort of core values of the outdoor activities with the natural environment. When you look at Patagonia, they try to share their vision, which is to protect and promote the value of natural environment rather than generating more revenue dollars. I think this kind of approach works for the potential customers to spend their money for experiencing this kind of brand. So key issue is pretty simple. What's core values of your sporting events try to emphasize in your brand management system? Well, in general, we can say that we clearly understand what's core values of sport, but sometimes people cannot recognize what they are. So we can generally have common values from the sports activities, such as health, life, and entertainment values. But some brand managers have a hard time to figure out what core values they try to generate with their brands. They often talk about how their brands are fancy and how their sales promotions works for this, their customers, or some kind of technological innovations they try to apply to their product. But when you look at the sporting event, people actually don't care about this hardware stuff at the sporting event. What they are actually care about is what kind of experience they can possibly experience at the sporting event. So we need to clearly define and describe what your brand is try to generate as a core value at the sporting event. So we can utilize these core values of sports as a framework to deliver your brand message. And also, we should extend these core values of your sporting event. So question is, how can we do it? You have to do the daily assignment. In this process, you should observe your programs and identify the common language that the event participants or even customers they commonly speak in their conversations. So you need to try to identify a certain type of common languages or stories about volunteers, local participants, and their family, or organization members, even sports facilities or all different types of spaces that we can utilize as a meaningful words to generate the brand values. So in the past, the companies tried to figure out effective communication channels, but now you have to generate the meaning of a story in their brand management. So it's getting more complicated process that sports marketers have to deal with this kind of challenges. 2 questions. Do we clearly understand the core value of sports? Second of all, do we implement these values in the brand management? Sports is a good thing. It makes people happy. It is fun thing that many people want to get involved or experience. But when we explain what it is exactly, it's hard to do it, which means it's still unclear. I thought it might be a good idea to define how sports generate its core values and how we put these values in brand management process. These are the common core values of sports that we usually experience at any type of sports programs or the event. It starts with a bodily experience by participating in a sporting event. Once you get involved in a sports event or all kind of steps or the process to be ready to consume or to participate or even experience the sports event, you can see that some kind of physical and emotional changes. So as a brand manager, you have to understand these core values and deliver your brand message based on this experience. Then you can utilize these values as a milestone or framework to communicate with your next generation of participants. So I came up with 3 connections to as a resource to develop sports event value. I try to extend the core value of sports. So we have to, you have experienced this kind of social and cultural interaction at a certain type of sports activity and event. So people consider these type of values as a memorable and valuable experience. In addition, there are many studies indicate that many people want to experience this type of a social cultural interaction in the sports settings. So I would like to, propose these 3 connections as a brand resource generation system. Number 1, connection to the others. People engagement in sports event is huge. In the recent years, people look at a certain sports event that provide a certain type of opportunity for the people to actively participate in the event as a volunteer, spectator, even family to cheer their family member who participate in the event. Then this type of connection to the other, the others include families, friends, colleagues, and neighbors. So it's pretty much people in the community base. What you have to do in this connection as a sports event brand manager is that you have to identify some types of features of family orientation from your event. There should be opportunity for these people to engage a sports event by sharing their story, not our story, their story with various educational programs, such as health management, nutrition, so physical activities, and the small sports event for the children. I believe that this type of approach allows sports organizations to emphasize their vision and direction, and even opportunity to promote the core values that they pursue, and people can clearly understand what this event try to do at the sporting event. So people can experience social and cultural values rather than business type of sports marketing activities, which focused on generating revenue dollars. So I think that this way is that the sports organization can have a positive image of their brands. Number 2, connection to the natural environment. One of the common issues in modern society is protecting environment. As a brand manager, we should consider natural environment as a part of event resource. Give them the opportunity to be connected to the natural environment at the sporting event. Let them experience air, smell, sound, any type of visual presentation and natural environment such as trees, earth, mountains, trails, any type of rivers. As a brand manager, you should point out how this sports event promote valuable natural environment and how this certain type of event is connected to the natural environment. So these features would be categorized in the 4 areas such as internal, external, tangible, and this intangible sporting space. So sports facility give you the some types of the place where we can play sports, but at the same time we can utilize this kind of sporting space as a resources to talk about your brand values. So your sporting event promote bodily experience by being connected to this type of natural spaces. Number 3, connection to yourself. This last resource is to stimulate people to understand themselves by participating in a sporting event. This process helps people emotional engagement to engage to not only sporting event but also their inner space. So brand manager needed to be able to describe how this process works for people to learn inside of, inner space of themselves. It gives them the opportunity to see inner space of themselves. Once people feel this inner space, they experience their physical, emotional growth. So we can consider this type of resource as a learning process for the participants. All right. Hey, chapter 3, manager implications. In brand management, it's very important to understand what makes your brand is alive. Brands has been evolved in many ways like marketing promotion, customer relationship, social symbolization, and cultural interactions. Brands for sporting events needed to emphasize the core value of sports, such as bodily experience. People want to experience a sporting event that provide opportunity to learn something that's valuable for their lifestyle. In the current marketplace, sports customers want to do 3 things, including understanding of core values that the sports organization pursue, and intentional or active participation, and sharing sharing their experience with the significant others. So your core values are supposed to tell the people why these core values they need to understand, and why they need to participate this type of event in order to experience meaningful values for their lifestyle. These are the 3 areas that the brand manager needed to consider as a direction to develop the brand values, such as education, environment, and culture. So when you look at the education area, as a brand manager, you should facilitate educational system at the sporting event to emphasize the core value of your sporting event. Once the people clearly understand what core values the sports events try to produce, they want to share their experience with their significant others. It doesn't have to be a fancy sports marketing plan or advertisement. It has to be educational and the cultural environment that we supposed to look at them as a foundation of sport event for future of sports industry. So don't just develop a brand to generate revenue dollars. keep the balance between the cultural heritage and the heritage of sport and your business objectives. Okay, two cases that I would like to share with you today. Number one is a Western State 100-mile race. And the second of all, UTMB, we call the UTMB, Ultra Trail du Mont Blanc. Both races are endurance running races, and these races usually emphasize the value of physical activities as well as eating habits and protect the environment. So people, like this type of event to share their experience with their families or friends as a education, part of education value for the next generations. I think time's up. Pretty much that's it for today. Thank you so much.
非常感谢我们来自韩国的 Dr. Choi。
Thank you so much, Dr. Choi, for your sharing regarding brand management. Dr. Choi talked a lot about outdoor sports. For badminton, it's mainly an indoor activity or indoor sport, but Dr. Choi shared with us a lot of experience in outdoor sports. Now we're proceeding to the networking session. So we're going to have the 4 speakers with us to have a Q&A session. In a lot of the presentations today, we use badminton as an example. Kristy Yeh talked to us about how she starts from herself as a badminton enthusiast. And she works with a lot of professionals to optimize the process of the game to better the user experience in the badminton matches. President Zhang of Chinese Taipei Badminton Association shared with us his experience in Taipei Open. We really look forward to YONEX Taipei Open this year in July. But first and foremost, we need to contain the pandemic situation in Taiwan. Vice President Choi talked to us about branding and sport events. I'm sure we all learned a lot from all 4 speakers. In the networking session, maybe we can ask Dr. Lin to start. So after listening to the 3 presentations, Dr. Lin, do you have any questions for our 3 speakers today? Over to you, Dr. Lin.
林博士有听到我的声音吗？
Can you hear me, Dr. Lin?
听起来博士好像没有听到我的声音。
Dr. Lin doesn't seem to have heard me. So if I may ask Kristy to kick off, because Kristy, you as a badminton lover, you're able to have the platform to interact with President Zhang. So any feedback or any sharing that you would like to talk to us or talk to President Zhang? Yes, this is really an honor and a privilege for me to be able to share the platform with President Zhang on this platform. I don't have too much feedback. I'm just quite curious. This technology is developed by amateurs because we are badminton lovers, and we developed this technology to accelerate the check-in process. For international sports events, we always watch them on TV. So sometimes our solution still doesn't really fit very well in the international scenario. There might be some gap. So I'm quite curious, for large international sport events, do you also use similar checking process, or have you already adopted any technologies to facilitate the checking process? We know that there is synchronized process for everybody to know the status of the games, but any technology is being adopted for the checking process. But again, it's really an honor and privilege for me to share the platform with President Zhang. Thank you, Kristy. You talked about the checking process. Whether it's domestic or international sports events, we always have an international organizer or committee in charge of athletes' checking process. So the same for domestic as well as international, especially for the international events. The checking process needs to be done in a careful and deliberate manner. So we do have a dedicated team to address that. Also for real-time scoring, a lot of games are being broadcasted live. So athletes usually have to wait by the courtside for the scores or for the results. But now we have a large number of participants through digital scoring. The athletes are updated with the status of the game. They know when it's their turn. They know when they need to stand by. So it's all very clear. When it's time, there's a dedicated team to help the athletes to check in. So we have a digital scoring for live broadcasting to facilitate the process of the game. There's also a lot of softwares. Thank you so much, President Zhang. And next, if I may, ask Dr. Lin to have some conversations with Dr. Choi. Dr. Lin, after listening to Dr. Choi's presentation, do you have any questions for Dr. Choi? First of all, I'd like to thank Vice President Choi for your kind sharing. I really would like to hear more about case studies. The two case studies, the super marathons, there's a lot of participants in these events. So I am quite curious, when you're promoting the brand or manage the brand, what is your unique approach for brand management? So if we are going to organize similar sports events, we would definitely like to learn from you about your branding approach. So Vice President Choi, if you could elaborate more on these two sport events.
Well, thank you for asking. In the past, many sports customers want to experience spectatorship rather than doing the sport. But when you look at the current marketplace, it has been changed dramatically. So people, want to be not only just spectators, but also want to be a part of the sporting event. So they want to actively involve in any kind of sporting event. So we need to emphasize this kind of experience with your potential participations. Am I answering your question?
Okay, yes, yeah, thank you very much. Yeah.
非常谢谢林博士跟我们推。
Thank you, Dr. Lin and Vice President Choi. Today, in the interest of time, we had a lot of wonderful presentations. If I may ask President Zhang from Chinese Taipei Badminton Association to share with us more, because as a dedicated sport association, there's a lot of things that you have to manage. And during the pandemic, there's a lot of challenges that have to overcome, especially over the years. We know that there's a passion for badminton in Taiwan. So President Zhang, could you please share with us how you overcome the pandemic? How do you keep promoting the sport of badminton despite the pandemic? Thank you very much for your question. it's actually not a question only for badminton. During the pandemic, all the sports and all the sport lovers need to overcome the same situation. For badminton, over the past couple of years, we actually saw an increase of badminton players. First, we had a wonderful performance internationally, and that peaked last year, which facilitate Taiwanese passion for badminton. And secondly, for sport organization, in terms of pandemic prevention, we attach great importance to these pandemic-related practices. So if you look at the cost analysis, for domestic games, even for international sport athletes, the biggest value of an athlete is to attend these sports games. And during the pandemic, many of the games were canceled. And for the athletes, they may already mature in these 2-3 years. They prime in these 2-3 years. So this is a valuable time for them to attend these games. They train on a daily basis. The goal is to win the best result or to achieve the best performance. So in terms of training intensity and the preparation of the athletes, the pandemic really gave the athletes a hard time. We are really grateful that Chinese Taipei Badminton Association is able to achieve this result to generate such a great passion for badminton from the Taiwanese people. So we can only say thank you. President Zhang, again, I'd also like to consult Dr. Choi from Asian Association for Sport Management. As you heard from Mr. Zhang regarding organizational experience, we know that Korea excels in badminton as well. So regarding brand management, any advice for us to organize YONEX Taipei Open?
Well, I think it's community environment is huge for this type of local sporting event. So you should open up the lots of way for community residents to get involved this type of event. So you have to utilize these people as a resource to part of your event and educate this resident the value of your programs, and then you have to have some kind of a plan for future direction, that how you keep developing a business plan for the future directions. So you have to you should share your branded core values with your resident people. That's, I think, key issue.
非常谢谢我们副理事长。那受限于时间的关系呢，我想在这个今天最后的阶段，我是不是想请
So, ladies and gentlemen, we have come to the end of today's workshop. I would like to ask all of you to say a few words to conclude today's workshop. We will start with Kristy Yeh, CEO of Justpa. Thank you. Thank you, Helen. I am a badminton fan. I play the sport myself. So the next step for us is coach matching. Young people interested in advancing their skills of the sports could actually use our app to find a coach that will meet their needs. So what I'm saying is that Justpa, pa means do it, means play in Taiwanese. So I would like to encourage everybody to try our app and stick with the sport if you can. Next, Michael. Thank you. Today, it's such a great honor for us to introduce to you the startup company, Justpa. The use of technology has become a very important trend in sports event organization. What is even more prominent, a prominent trend, is across discipline and interdisciplinary collaboration. So being able to tell the stories, being able to identify the core values, and using these smart technologies to create a seamless experience. I think in the future, that is the right direction to be headed in. I believe that these will be the factors we need to focus on: collaboration and use of all the know-how and knowledge across different domains. Next, please, Mr. Zhang.
谢谢。我刚才听到
Thank you. Thank you. Kristy Yeh talked about Justpa, software as a service. I think the Ministry of Technology in Taiwan, particularly its precision technology grant, has sponsored many local companies to develop AI and softwares and apps. I think it's important to combine sports medicine, kinesiology, and badminton as a spectator sports, to grow the market. I think the target audience for the badminton industry is very specific. It is a middle class families and players in Taiwan. Over the past years, we also see that an increasing number of associations, badminton associations, and even companies, private enterprises, organizing their own badminton teams. And that trend will continue. And in terms of organizing private tournaments, it's happening all over Taiwan. So the Chinese Taipei Badminton Association is playing a very active role in promoting this atmosphere in Taiwan. I believe badminton will continue to be a very important driving force for the development of the sports industry in Taiwan. It is my sincere hope that badminton, particularly Taipei, will become a hub for badminton sports collaboration and interaction. Badminton has put Taiwan on the world's map, and I believe that we will continue to take tremendous pride in our sportsmen, in our badminton players. We also rely on the government's strong backing. For example, I've already said that you will need world-class players, but what's still missing in Taiwan are world-class venues or badminton courts. So if you really look at the leading badminton countries, they all have nationally run and operated badminton venues. So as the Badminton Association of Chinese Taipei, it is our sincere hope that the government will provide more support in terms of creating international caliber sports venues for the sports to continue to grow in Taiwan. Next, Dr. Choi, would you like to share your final thoughts with us?
Well, thank you so much. Thank you so much for having me today. I was so glad to share my experience and some professional experience with you guys today. Just long story too short. We spent a lot of time, like more than 20 years, to do sports business and to generate more revenue dollars, any type of sport event or activity or things like that. But when you look at the future of sports industry, I'm not sure who's gonna be in sports market as a customers. We have to extend our sporting event as a place where new children get involved as a new generation of sports fans or sports customers, new programs or the sporting events, so that we have to develop some types of sporting events and programs for this type of young generation, especially. So I think you should keep the balance between the business model to generate more revenue dollars and the cultural value of a sporting event. So I think you have to emphasize this kind of core value of the sporting event as a part of the physical activity to grow up for the people. Okay, pretty much that's it. Thank you.
非常谢谢 Dr. Choi， 也谢谢4位讲者今。
Thank you, Dr. Choi, for sharing your excellent thoughts with us. My special thanks go to the 4 speakers for joining us today. You may feel free to leave the conference room. That is all for today's workshop. Thank you all for joining us today. I'm sure that you have enjoyed today's workshop.
我们其实每个周三就是相约在。
Let's not forget that this workshop will take place every Wednesday afternoon. Every week, we will invite a stellar lineup of speakers to join us, to share their expertise and experience with us, and to provide very rare learning experiences with us.
其实我们的题目没有。
Isn't this exciting? Our questions are not difficult. We spend a lot of time talking about badminton. We talked about branding, innovation, and networking. So YONEX Taipei Open as a sports event is a very important one for Taiwan. In President Zhang's analysis, it is mentioned that the goal for organizing YONEX Taipei Open. There are 5 goals. If you could write down one of them, we will have 3 lucky winners to get the prizes that we prepare for you. So please leave your answers. What are the goals to organize YONEX Taipei Open? This one shouldn't be a too difficult question. And also, just to explain, from today's workshop,
送礼物的活动，我们有好康加码。
we have additional prizes. Besides the questions that we just gave out, we're going to have 3 winners. After you complete the questionnaire, we're going to pick 10 lucky winners. So starting from this week, in the workshops that follow, we are going to pick 10 lucky winners. Once you complete your questionnaire, you'll be able to get the 200 NT dollar gift voucher. And this is the 3rd workshop in this series. So for this year,
8堂课，好，至少8。
if you attend at least 8 workshops, if you have attendance of at least 8 workshops, at the very end of the last workshop, we're going to pick 3 lucky winners who are going to get 1,000 NT dollar gift voucher and also limited prizes from Fun Sports in Taiwan. So the quiz question for today is one of the goals of organizing YONEX Taipei Open. Just write down your answer, and we're going to pick the lucky winners. There will be 3 lucky winners, and please refer to the screen. Next Wednesday, on May 25th, we're going to have the next Sport Event Taiwan workshop. And again, we're going to have a great lineup of speakers. And the theme for next year or next week is AI. We're also going to talk about Taipei Marathon that everybody knows about. I'm sure everybody knows the saying, every great city needs to have its own marathon. So Deputy Director Choi of Sports Bureau of Taiwan, and also we have another speaker who is also a marathon lover to join us. We are also going to have an international speaker who is going to share with us sports organization and digitization of sport events, which is also a very important topic. So please scan the QR codes on the screen so that you can register for our workshop next Wednesday from 3 to 5 p.m.
画面上刚刚有提到
On the screen, as mentioned before,
填写，只要您填写。
as long as you finish the satisfaction survey, you'll be able to have the opportunity to get the $200 NT ticket voucher or gift voucher. And also, please subscribe our e-publication of sports administration. Right now, things are made very easy for everyone. Just scan the QR codes. You'll be able to fill out the survey and subscribe to the e-publication. And again, we would like to see you next Wednesday. And please subscribe the e-publication of Sports Administration so that you won't miss any news from Sports Administration of the Ministry of Education. Once again, I would like to thank your time on this Wednesday afternoon to listen to the experience sharing from both domestic and international speakers. And please remember to register for our workshop next week. Our staff, after you complete the satisfaction survey, will pick the lucky winners.
大家收集这些刚刚大家填写的答案。
We are collecting your answers. Thank you again for your participation. See you again at 3 p.m. next Wednesday.
拜。